Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Section 214 of BC Lions podcast. And I'm your host, Ascent, and I'm just here with my buddy co-host Hammer. Unfortunately,
Oh,
JS is not able to make it to to be with us for this recording because he has like a bunch of study preparation for a test to do for Tuesday, and he severely
we've all been
underestimated
there.
that way. Yeah, I've been no, I don't miss it.
Yeah,
Uh,
not me
so
neither.
yeah, but he will be back for next week's game against Hamilton, which is like 4 days from now, and Thursday. So very
My
short.
week went quickly.
Yeah, you're gonna be seeing us again pretty quickly, but yeah, there's two more things I kind of want to talk about before we get into the game recap of the Argos at the Bombers. The second thing that I want to talk about is yeah, first, yeah, this is the second of three. Like the first was, acknowledging JS's absence, but the second is that unfortunately, I we got like no responses from the fan sign up sheet, which I'm a little bit disappointed by. I was looking forward to do a bit of a fan interview section, but unfortunately we can't do that because there's no responses. But it wasn't for a lack of trying. I mean, like I pretty much posted everywhere, right? And yeah, so um,
No, we're still growing as a podcast, and I'm sure we'll be able to get a fan or a friend on at some point, or even our parents. I think it didn't work out this week, and also would have been a bit tough since we didn't have Jacob in the end. But
yeah,
we're looking
yeah, it
forward
would
to
have
the
been.
future.
Yeah, I think it was all really like a blessing in disguise that there was no interview participants ready for this because I think they would have been disappointed if they I can't do that right now. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think next time around it'll be I'm gonna change some things about the forum, but you know if we don't get fans to submit, then we still have our contingency plan with our parents or good friend of mine that good friend of ours that also follows the Lions, right?
Mm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that was kind of like a planned part of this bi-week episode, which is, by the way, is the fourth bi-week episode of the podcast, uh,
Yeah.
which is crazy. It's
Actually
um,
is.
yeah, it's just again, it's just I thought I'd change it up a little bit, but yeah, it's just nothing worked out this time. But hopefully next time it'll go a lot more smoothly. And then, of course, the third thing I want to bring up just really quickly. I've been shouting out the Cerebral Palsy Association of BC for a couple of episodes this season, and I'm going to shout them out again because I have a GoFundMe uh, link in the description that if you can find some money to donate towards the Cerebral Palsy Association of BC for continuing to fund educational programs and just programs that help people with cerebral palsy do occupational work or just live a normal life, right? Like I do. Like I'm blessed to have the what I have, but I'd like to have other people with cerebral palsy have the same you know living amenities as I do, right? So it'd be nice if you could just spare some change for their GoFundMe. So the link's in the description.
I second that. I know how much they mean to you. They also mean a lot to the podcast as they have shouted us out before. So they're a great organization. Done a lot for you. I'm sure they can do a lot for others. So happy for that.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I'm happy to be on a kind of partnering with them for this go around, and yeah. So yeah, that's really it for things non-football related, but we'll get into the football part of the podcast here. So let's start out with checking in on the teams that played week 9, other than the game we're going to be talking about in detail. in detail. So, um, yeah. So the week started out on Thursday. It was like the last day of July, so Thursday, July 31st. This was like the big upset, really. I mean, considering the records, really. But Vernon Adams was not playing in this game against out in the Stampeders, so maybe it was more like a mild upset. But yeah, the Red Blacks, they dominated the Stampeders 31-11. I didn't watch that game in its entirety, but I watched the highlights of it, and like I'm like, man, that's feels like feels like a Masoli game if Masoli was on the Stampeders, right? uh,
Yeah. Philip Walker was the quarterback. Didn't have a very good game, although
PJ
did
Walker,
have
yeah.
his first career touchdown as they lost 11-31 to the Red Blacks. We all predicted, I mean, we basically have rough predictions every week for the league, but we all predicted the Stamps would win that one, and pretty shocking to see Ottawa win throughout the injuries that they've gone through. They had Drew
Hmm.
Brown starting at quarterback. I also just remembered that Stanback plays on the Red Blacks, so that kind of went under the radar for me. But yeah,
Yeah, he's well, yeah, I mean it's kind of does well, it helps BC out a little bit with this guy. I'm not well, no, it helps BC out a little bit with Calgary losing, but Ottawa winning is actually bad news for us in the crossover. But we'll get to a game which was actually good for us in the crossover. So it's like well at this point in the season we're having like increased interest in East Conference games when we really shouldn't be, like uh,
sucks too.
yeah, well, and speaking of an East versus West game, it's the other game that happened well yesterday, or it was a doubleheader for yesterday for the Saturday game, right? So the first one was the Ticats and the Elks. Actually, funny thing about both of the Saturday games is that they both had lightning delays, right? So you had a lightning delay
Lord.
in the middle of the Ticats Elks game in Edmonton, and then they had another one all the way over in Montreal, right? So, like, what is there like a giant thundercloud just hovering over the majority of Canada, right? That's what I thought, right? Just I'm
It
joking. I
feels like
know
sometimes.
I'm joking. I know how the weather works, but it's like yeah. So yeah, I mean, despite the lightning delay, I mean, well, the Elks had a lead for some of this game against Hamilton, but obviously, Hamilton turned it up in late in the fourth quarter, and they scored a game-winning touchdown with a minute and a half to go. And I'm like, yeah, that seems to be par for the course for the win now, right? It
Goodness
did
me,
it to
Hamilton are
us.
rolling. Like we had a bit of a discussion before we started recording who are the Grey Cup contenders this year. And Hamilton, they look good. They're the number one team in the East right now.
They
Also on
might
the
be,
Elks, they did what I suggested they should do 2 or 3 weeks ago. They started Cody Fajardo this game, and he played all right, but not enough because of
yeah,
Edmonton's defense.
yeah. It's just Edmonton's just MO in terms of a team. I mean, they do good things occasionally, but it's just and they always just end up losing, right? And I'm never fearful of them even going into next year, right? Because it feels like it's been forever since they were an elite team, right? Ever since they won that Grey Cup back in well, yeah, they won that Grey Cup in 2015, and then they had good runs in 2018 and 19, but then yeah, they've just been awful ever since, right?
Yeah.
um, but yeah, Ticats, I mean, yeah, we're gonna revisit our season predictions at the end of this episode, and a
Can't wait for
lot of
that.
it is out of whack for all three of us. Right?
I think I've reminded myself every episode that I said that there's one guarantee, and it's the Tiger Cats are going to suck. And they have
Oh
owned me
my
with that
God,
prediction.
and they hurt us, and they're like, okay,
Yeah, they
next.
hurt me last week at BC Place, so I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything bold like that again. Or maybe I will, because that's the fun of the podcast. But yeah,
That's
we'll
the
look at that later.
yeah. I mean, we're having fun, even if we've got like gratuitous amount of egg on our faces for predictions,
Oh yeah,
right? But I'm like, okay, we're not gonna be like Luke Wilson and be all salty about it, right?
of course. Yeah, what an
Uh,
addition
yeah,
he's
and
being to the
then and
broadcast.
then yeah, and then the last game of the week, Boy, the Riders, they absolutely laid a beat down on the Alouettes, like on the
Yeah.
road, 34-6, right?
Thanks.
Oh my God, like I talk. You talk about Hamilton being good. I'm gonna make this crazy prediction. Like I think I'm gonna make this crazy prediction right now. I think the Riders are gonna win the Grey Cup this year. Uh, they just look
I
they just look more. I mean, even though most of the wins have been like by a hair or by a nudge, right? But they're winning, right? I think this was their best win of the season, right? They just. I mean, yes, I get it. They did it to Montreal with having their backup out too. They have McLeod, Bevel Thompson, but Bevel Thompson has had good games in his career. I mean, he's even won the Grey Cup with the Argos as well. So just,
yeah, I
but
admit
man, just
I only started watching that game in the third quarter, and by then it was already over. There's no point watching, and you knew Saskatchewan, they've been rolling, absolutely rolling, and there's no stopping them. So
yeah,
I think they're the Grey Cup favorite. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Grey Cup because I would hate to say that, but it certainly looks like that at this point.
it certainly looks like they're on the
If
warpath
they
right
can,
now, and
if they can stay healthy, that's for sure, because a lot of teams have had injuries to their quarterbacks. And we've been talking about who's been able to manage the injuries. And I think the only team, Montreal's done well to manage their injuries because they've had Alexander out all year. Winnipeg,
hmm,
sort of. I don't know. They've had it tough with Strebler. Who knows how long Kolaros is going to be out because he's been hurt on and off. But
on and off, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But Trevor Harris has only missed one game, and
Yeah.
it was the Jake
Who
Mayo
was that
game against
against?
us. And they managed to win that game too. So like even with a mid quarterback like Jake Mayo, like Saskatchewan can
Yeah.
still beat us. All right, that's gonna I like the system they have in place, the system that Corey Mace has developed in just like 2 years of him, not even like 2 years of him coach because like he had his first year coaching the team last year and they did pretty good then, but yeah, well, they got to the Western Conference Final, right? But yeah, this year, I mean, I think yeah, Corey Mace is just like a stud head coach, right? Like I am jealous that someone from my hometown, right, Rudy, is able to do this with a team that I am intensely not liking, right?
Oh yeah. It would be cool.
But
We would hate it, but the Grey Cup could touch Port Moody this year.
uh, and it would be in the hands of like an enemy that
It'll be
I
so
I
conflicting.
yeah. So yeah, that's just gonna be our little week nine review, and then let's we skipped over a game because we went we're gonna go over this in detail. It's Toronto, the rematch of the Toronto Winnipeg series because Toronto won their last game at home pretty handily, right, with 30 plus points, and they did score 30 plus points in this one, but wasn't enough for a win, right? Just like the Hamilton game against us, right? Uh,
Before we
but
recap it, I just want to say one of the most ridiculous CFL games I have ever watched. I don't even know how to describe it. We'll get into it. Just complete. It wasn't even back and forth. There was just so much crap going on.
in the second
Punt
half that I
returns
missed, but I
and
missed out.
pickoffs and yeah, you missed out on it, and then you came back to 20 notifications in chat for me, just screaming, "What the hell's going on?" So you'll
Yeah,
you'll
you
get
were.
into it. We'll
Yep. Well, I'll say that I was around to watch the first half, but once it got to a certain score, I was like, okay, I think this should be over, and then rest what happened. But anyways,
well,
so
I
yeah,
wanted to believe, and then it just kept
yep.
going. So
So yeah,
so
no.
let's get started here.
In the first quarter, so Val almost coughs up the opening kickoff with a fumble, but coolly recovers at the Winnipeg 35. So right off the bat, it's like Winnipeg BS, right? Just
Yes.
like they could have immediately screwed up and give the ball over to Toronto, but they were able to recover that fumble themselves. So I'm like, oh boy, low iffy there. And then Stearns catches the pass for 7 yards, and then Stravelo converts on two attempts of short yardage runs. Wheatfall is chased down after a pass for 4 yards, but unnecessary roughness is called on Parrish because like he Parrish was in a scuffle with an O lineman on well, yeah, Parrish on Toronto. He was like in a scuffle of an alignment on the Bombers, right? And that was what the unnecessary roughness was called. I'm like, you don't want to be doing that against this team, right? And yeah, uh, 15 yards to Toronto 44, but yeah, but fortunately, Winnipeg goes no further on a short pass, forcing them to kick a field goal. But on the field goal attempt, Castillo doinked the attempt off the upright for a miss, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that was the start of the chaos. Like it started with a doink and it ended with a crazy score, right? um, yeah. So off the upright doink, and then Toronto's offense starts on the 30, but Toronto goes 2 and out because the Arbuckle gets sacked on second down. Laval takes the kickoff to the Winnipeg 48, and then this is the craziness that both of us witnessed, right? Like Cameron Judge caught a deflected pass from Stravler for the pick six. Like it was a 50-yard pick six to take an only 7-0 lead. And then immediately after that pick six, Laval answered with a 93-yard kickoff return touchdown, tie the game. And we're
Like
going,
what?
how?
It's like
How
Janarian
can
Grant is still on their team.
yeah, Grant had a fine game as a kickoff returner, but just Val just went off in this one, like, and it was the first of two, right? And we're going like that is like the ball at the start of the game was one thing, but then this, like after a pick six, like why can't we have that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
craziness
look back through
happens.
our chat because it was so funny when it happened.
Yeah, craziness happened in
Yeah.
that middle stand of the first quarter, and then Grant returns the kickoff to the 25. But a penalty reverts them back to 10. Toronto once again goes 2 and out in the short incomplete pass as Haggerty punts to the 54 on Winnipeg's side, and then Streveler gets sacked for Winnipeg's first 2 and out as Grant returns the punt to the 40. But another major penalty pushes Toronto back to the 8, right? So it's like, oh boy, it's a lot of penalties. I mean, I recorded the second half of the game, but I kind of used a condensed game for the first half, right? uh, um, so yeah, it's just another major penalty to push back to the 8. Coxie makes a 9-yard catch, but Wilson stops Mick Mahan short of his sticks to force Toronto to punt on 3rd and 1, and return it to the Winnipeg 50 out of bounds. And here, this is a touchdown drive for Winnipeg because Stearns converts an 11-yard pass, and then Dembski ran to the right side for 19 yards. Toronto was caught offside on 2nd and 3 for a free convert to get Winnipeg into the red zone. And then, like, from there, just Oliveira and then Strebler just runs it into the end zone easily to go up 14-7, right? So it's like we went from 7-0 Toronto to 14-7 in the span of like 6 minutes, right? That's how
You
Winnipeg
know,
wins.
as I'm reading this, I'm just sensing the BS and it's all coming back to me. It was just such a
Yeah.
comedy show. Two backup quarterbacks in a nutshell.
Yeah, well, it was well, at this point, it feels like it's two mid teams, but I know Winnipeg doesn't like to be
Yeah.
called mid, right? But record wise, they're mid, right? It's just, and then, yeah, so after that touchdown, to end the first quarter, Winnipeg had called for an illegal kickoff, and then Arbuckle throws incomplete to Coxie at the holding penalty was called for 1st and 20 to start the second, and then from there, it was pretty much, they were forced to punt because, Toronto didn't do much on that. Vaval returns the punt to the 10-yard line. Winnipeg converts on short yardage, and then Wheatfall on back-to-back plays on a run and a pass. Both convert for a first down, but then Strebler gets sacked for a loss of 3 yards and second on a punt. Grant returns the punt to the 35 of Winnipeg, and then Arbuckle passes to Coxie. Like he ran for a hard 11 yards. Like it was like one of the hardest yak yardage kind of catching ones I've seen. Like uh, Arbuckle passes to Brissett on second down to convert for 30 yards. So that was like a little taste of Winnipeg's own medicine. When like on second and like long, and then it was like a long 30-yard pass, right? And then Unfortunately, Mattel dropped the short pass from Arbuckle to force Hau'olahu to kick a 43-yard field goal to lessen the lead to 14-10. And then we're getting close to even more like craziness happening. But
Yeah.
first, Winnipeg Oliveira converts on a run for 5 yards in second down, and then before the 3-minute warning, Stravler throws incomplete on second down. But offside and DPI, but DPI ended up being the accepted penalty, of course, because why would you not? uh Pushes Winnipeg up to the 44-yard line. Stravler only winds up 6 yards on second down. So it brings out Castillo to kick the 46-yard field goal to go up 17-10. And I put the time here with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go. It was 17-10 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go. And then Arbuckle gets, and then on the ensuing drive, Arbuckle immediately gets strip sacked by Jefferson. And the ball was recovered by Poston to the house for a fumble return for a touchdown to go up 24
Ridiculous.
to 10.
Yeah. So we were just
And
laughing at this.
I was,
Oh, and then keep
yeah,
going because then,
yeah, we were laughing and we're like, how much more can the football gods give them? Like, does the magic to end in the Grey Cup? And it continues because Grant carries the kickoff for the Argos to 40. Brissett gets tackled for a loss of one on a short pass, and then Coxie only gets 8 yards from a pass for a 2-and-out. And then on the punt, Val double dips on special teams touchdowns as he runs it back like 90 yards, and I put to steal the likely blowout victory 31-10 as I stopped taking notes here at this point, and then I put ellipses. But I take notes from watching the replay of the game from here on because of what happened next, right? But at this point, I stopped watching the game because I knew where this was going. Right, I couldn't stand happy Winnipeg fans. Right, I'm like, I'm gonna spare myself any more of this, right? Great, but you stuck around, even if it was like
yeah.
half-hearted, you still stuck around.
So I just wanted to say, because I did focus a bit more on the game when it got crazier in the fourth quarter, but I wanted to say it was tough rooting for, I mean, you can't root for either of these teams. You can't,
No,
under no circumstances would I root for the Blue Bombers, but it was almost better if they won for the crossover hopes for us. And it's tough to say that because you don't want to hope for a crossover in the situation we're in. So I was just rooting for Toronto because screw the Bombers. I wanted them to lose. And you'll see our emotions play out throughout the second half, which is absolutely insane.
well,
So we can get
mainly your
started here.
emotions, and then I was more like I went through like your emotions reading over in like 10 seconds, right? But for you, it
Yeah,
took like an hour for you to go through those emotions. And me, I read it
it
in
was a
like
long half.
15 seconds, right? I read the roller coaster, right? But yeah, so
Keep
at this
going.
point, like I stopped taking notes initially, but this is like post. I recorded the game and I watched like the rest of the game and recording. So from here. This is like post game note taking, right? So, uh, like future watch. So, yeah. So Grant took the kickoff back to the Toronto 35. Arbuckle threw deep to Coxie on second down to get to the Winnipeg 17. So that was crazy, right? But they only managed a field goal after Toronto intentionally grounds on second down in the red zone to get to within 31-13 before Winnipeg ends the half with a kneel. So it's like, yeah.
So now the
I
half is
mean,
over.
so yeah, now the half's over. I mean, yeah, they got points, but if it was a touchdown, like that, I think that would have made like Bombers fans a little more nervous. But it was a field goal, so with only a little bit of nervousness, but like not too much. The nervousness would crank up really quick, right? But um, yeah, and then in the third quarter, Toronto gets the ball on the kickoff, and Grant returns it to the 35. Mayala catches and runs on the right side for 18. Convert on first down. Brissett barely converts on a catch for 11 on second down. McMahon runs for 6 yards up the middle on second down to convert. Daniels gets a 10-yard conversion catch, and Parker uh, on the Bombers got hurt defending Brissett. He gets like nicked on the legs. Like it was a kind of a fluky kind of looking injury. It looked really painful. I hope he's okay. I'm not sure if he saw that, but I saw it on the recording. So
think I do remember that now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But after that injury on 2nd and 5, Coxie caught a check down pass. I mean, he saw like all sorts of green expand in front of him, so it was like an easy touchdown run for him, like that wide open space. So they got a touchdown to lessen the Bombers lead to 31-20. XP good on a fairly like efficient drive. Wasn't you know it was kind of like it was rare at this point in the game for Toronto to have like a very consistent drive effort, but that was the one that got them back into it. So they're within 11 points at this point, right? So it's like not out of range. I mean, I thought it was out of range before, but now it's like okay. But the seed of doubt's kind of starting to creep in a little bit here, but uh yeah. So Gauthier returned the kickoff to the Winnipeg 37 instead of Laval because Toronto's kicker clearly avoided kicking the ball to him. Like just didn't want to kick to Laval also like okay, I'll try my chances of the other guy instead. that's
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 smart.
the kind of stuff I'm envious about where the other team's kicker is so afraid of your special teams game that they try another guy, right? uh,
We don't even have one good special teams kicker or returner.
no, it's been a long time since someone's field or special teams, but anyways, yeah, Strevlo gets sacked for a loss of 4 as Toronto forces the key 2-and-out as Grant returns the punt fast, and it was fast, right? I thought it was gonna like go to the house on a run, right? But he gets stopped at the Winnipeg 41. Mayala jumped and grabs the high pass to convert for 14. That was like a really nice jump to catch it like up high. Um, Daniels converts on a catch to the right side for 11, and then Arbuckle throws in complete to Coke in the end zone. But a clear DPI from Terrell Bonds forces Toronto to go up to the 1 yard line. Uh, I will say this. Like I was watching the recording as I was doing my note taking, like I normally do. I assumed Toronto was going to score a touchdown, so I was like, okay, they're going to score a touchdown there, but no, they didn't.
Oh man, I was actually
Because
so mad about that. Uh,
yeah,
that's when I gave
yeah,
up on their offense because it was
they didn't.
ridiculous. They had such a good
Yes,
drive to get there,
and
and
and the
then
DPI to boot. Like I thought they were going to score a touchdown there, but they didn't. They failed to stop. Well, Winnipeg stopped them on first and second and short. So yeah, they scored a field goal instead, shortening the lead to 31-20. So it's not the end of the world at this point in the game. But it's like, man, those were easy points that you just like gave up, right? Like that's gonna come back to bite them later, right? uh, So, they get to within one possession after the field goal. Stones converts on first down for 11 yards, but an illegal block penalty on the receiver was called before yards were gained. So Winnipeg gets forced back 10 yards. But it doesn't matter on second down as Dembski converts on a pass in the middle for 32. But Winnipeg goes no further as Oliveira gets pushed back 2 yards on second down to force Castillo to kick a long distance 49-yard field goal to extend the lead to 34-23. And then there's like back and then Toronto goes 2-and-out on back-to-back deflected incompletions, and then
you hear
Laval
those words a
returns.
lot.
Yeah,
2 and out.
you know those words like yeah, 2-and-out. But yeah, Stravler's but after Winnipeg gets the ball back, Stravler's pass to Weefall is deflected to the right side. It was a fluky interception for Toronto. Like the dreaded deflected interception right into Franklin's hands. And at that point, you're going, oh my God, they're going to choke,
Yeah.
right? Please
That's what I
choke.
was saying.
Uh, but OPI is called on Coach on second down, which means nothing because then Toronto goes up 2-and-out again.
See,
Yeah, and then on the final play of the quarter, Haggerty punts over Laval, and the ball skips end over end in the back of the end zone for Rouge to get to within 10. I had to put that down because it's like, yeah,
it's points are points.
yeah. And then yeah, so fourth quarter, I say Winnipeg is not even playing their best offensive game with only like 91 passing yards and 79 rushing yards at this point in the game.
Oh my God. Dude, it was ridiculous looking at the stats before we started recording because the yards on each team were so low. And
And
the rushing, I'm like, it's just crazy. And there's 71 combined points. All of it happened on special teams or turnovers. We can keep going.
yeah,
And
I was
more
gonna say,
happened.
yeah, it's like nothing, yeah, it's like nothing, yeah, just it was like a C plus offense for Winnipeg, but they were somehow like getting a lot of points anyways. But and this would continue because they have a decent drive on this one with like multiple short passes and including Stones sliding to convert for 15 after a throw, but uh, Stretlow gets sacked on first down, so that helped out Toronto to keep them to a field goal. So Winnipeg extended their lead to 37-24 with 8:48 to go. Coxie catches and fights off a Val to convert for 14 yards on first down. And then Arbuckle throws deep to Coxie in the middle. He breaks the tackle and he waltzes into the end zone for a 56-yard strike to make Bombers fans sweat now. Like the pressure was
Yeah.
turned up right there,
It
right?
was an
Like,
electric play. Absolutely
yeah, just
electric.
that it was electric. Like the Argos fans watching must be going like, "Oh my God, we're gonna come back," because the score is now 37-31 with a whole lot of time left. But then and then the Bombers lose the ball on the kickoff with Cooley bobbled the ball on the one that landed in front of him. He turned the ball over to Toronto. I said, the comeback seems inevitable, but on 2nd and 10, Arbuckle throws into the hands of Jones. Like he couldn't even see Jones and like diving in front of the receiver, right? Like it came out of nowhere in his eyes and just like snagged the ball, saved Winnipeg, right?
That was my
Just
real time.
sniffed out Ungu's route, and it was an interception. And you're
My real time
and
Discord messages on screen right here. I was freaking out when that was happening. I'm like, oh my God, Winnipeg effed up the punt return. And then they picked it off again. I just could not believe what was going on in my mind. And there was still time left in the game. So
yeah,
do we keep going here?
after that interception, yeah, Winnipeg, does enough to yeah, does enough like before it was 3 minute warning, and then yeah, then they get picked off in the end zone. Like the Argos pick the Bombers off in the end zone and they keep the game alive. But yeah, deflected passes for incompletions forced Toronto to go 2 and out. So that was a bit of a surrender part right there, like what happened to us in the Riders game. I think, yeah. Uh, yeah, Grant. There wasn't a whole lot much going on here, but yeah, Toronto eventually decides, okay, we might as well go for it on 3rd down and 10, and yeah, Arbuckle floats incomplete into traffic on Ungur to force the turnover on down. And I said like that effectively sealed the win for the Bombers because yeah, they kicked a field goal to put a 40 burger on them, but just for good measure, right? But it was over after that 3rd down turnover, right? So I put the Bombers avoid what would be a very rare collapse home. I cannot remember the last time the Bombers like collapsed a multi-point lead at home, right? That's why I said
Yeah.
it's rare. So they survived by beating Toronto 40-31 to go up to 4-3 in the season to further solidify 3rd place in the West. Much to the chagrin of us, and Toronto falls to 2-6 with consolation prize for our crossover hopes.
That ending was just ridiculous. Like it was so exciting and anticlimactic at the same time. We had Toronto picking it off in the end zone, and then 2 and out for Toronto, 2 and out for Winnipeg, and 3-0 for Toronto. I'm just like, this team sucks. I am done. That was the double backup quarterback experience. So all the offense just completely lost it at the end of the game, and that's why we had such a high scoring game with little to no yards from passing and rushing, all on special teams, and just complete screw ups on with the ball. Um, it was insane. You should watch the highlights if you haven't.
Yeah,
To all our
I watched
viewers.
a little bit of the condensed highlights, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, yeah, I knew the game would end in a win for Winnipeg, but the way it happened, like, I did not expect, right? Like, that was, so a roller coaster of emotions. So yeah, that'll be it. Okay, now let's get to our predictions that we did before the season started. Uh, boy, were we wrong on a lot of these, right? And I mean, it's no shame to admit that a lot of we all had egg on our faces in this one, but um,
Boy,
yeah,
were we
that's
all wrong.
we were the only yeah. I mean, the only thing I got right we'll get to, but I'm thinking let's. I'm gonna award points to the three of us to like you got like the closest prediction, but if all three of us have the same, it'll be a wash, right? So it'll be like no point awarded.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna start out from the west. So we're gonna be starting out with our team, the Lions. I thought we thought to be much better than this, but nope, they're fourth place. And JS, because he's not here, I'm gonna be vouching for his prediction too. So JS had BC at 2, you had BC at
Yep.
3, and I had BC at 2 at fourth. So you get a point for the closest prediction
I'm
for
just being
BC.
fourth. That's not a fun one to be closest in them being below where we thought they would be.
Yeah, been below. Yeah, we'd rather like they be at 1 or 2. So yeah, that's one for you. Edmonton, which is like the next closest in terms of directionally across the country. Edmonton, I had them at last place. You and JF had them at fourth, so I immediately get the win there because like I correctly predicted them at last at this point.
Yep.
And
Why didn't we all predict that? What were we doing?
you were
That
well
was,
for one thing, we were so down on Calgary. Even me,
I don't know.
and I had Calgary at well, I had Calgary a little bit better at like third place. They could absolutely still fall with third place if Winnipeg, wins a few more games between here and now, but I could still be right. But I mean, like I was higher on Calgary than you two were. You had them at last place, both of you. I am at third, and they're at second place in the division right now. So
What can I
I get the
say? I
point
mean,
there.
I said that the Vernon Adams acquisition wasn't going to be enough, and I said they had terrible coaching and their team wasn't all that improved. And well, sure enough, that VA acquisition was enough. They did a lot to improve their
Yeah,
team.
I
So
want, and
yeah,
it clearly shown from their last game, like they need him back, right? Because
they
like
do.
they're not going to win it for backup. Not many. I'm not sure Toronto or the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody wins championship with the backup, right? Uh,
Well, Toronto, you can say they're not winning regular season games with the backup. So
yeah, shout out to Nick Foles. Uh,
shout out Nick Foles.
yeah, and yeah, it's just well, I mean, I won with the Edmonton and Calgary pick, so Alberta's been good to me in this one, but Saskatchewan, man. Saskatchewan. I
Oh
was
boy.
so low on them. I had them at fourth. You had you were very high on the Riders at number two, and Jay I think was in the middle at number three. So you get the point for that
So
one.
throwback to what I said in our predictions episode. I was initially going to put the Riders in first, but you know, Winnipeg, they have just been
The
taking the league by
Phantom,
storm the last couple of years, and I just didn't think, man, like they're probably going to be first. And well, look at what the Riders are doing this year. So I kind
they
of
only
wish I
have
did
one
that one
loss.
differently.
I know.
I said it at the time,
I know.
seven and
Well,
one.
yeah, but at least you were closing up that you still got a point. So I'm
Yeah.
with both of us are tied at two in terms of standings prediction so far. I'm the closest, and then actually no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had Winnipeg at number one. You had Winnipeg at number one, and then yeah, Jeff had number one. So all three of us thought they were going to be
Wash.
number one in the league at this point. So that's a wash. So we're yeah, both of us are tied at two. And so in the
And
East,
JS got nothing.
yeah. So the closest to us in the East would be like Hamilton. I'd say geographically, Hamilton would probably be the closest to us. So yeah, that was another like whoa. How did you pick it? How did you go that low on them? Because I predicted Hamilton at number four, and you predicted them at last place at number four, and JS at number 4. So that's another wash too, because all of us thought Hamilton would be bad. They were the exact opposite of that, right?
I'm not going to repeat again what I said about Hamilton because God, I said that I would guarantee that they're going to suck, and might as well shut my mouth at this point.
Yeah, I said, well, you said you're not going to repeat it, and then you repeat
Yeah, I know.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's how embarrassed I feel about saying that. And after
I
them beating
know.
us
It's
at
like,
BC Place last week,
I know. I think
yeah.
Bo Levi Mitchell heard all of us predict that they were going to be a bad team, and they're looking at, okay, we'll show them, right? We'll show our
And then
pundits.
Trevor
And
Harris,
Trevor
the
Chris
Riders in
too.
first. All these spirits.
They all have they all have a grudge against pundits predicting them to be lower than they actually are now. So uh anyways, yeah, so Hamilton, that's a wash. Ottawa, all three of us had Ottawa at Sun East. They're at last place, so that's a wash as well. Because that's three for the washes, two for me and
Oh,
two for you. Toronto, I had them at second place. You had them at tops in the division in the East, and so did JS. So Toronto, like, performing way below our expectations, but I had them at second, so I was the closest one there. So I get the win
point to you.
there. Yeah, and then Montreal number one. I had Montreal number one, and then yeah, you had them at number two. JS at number two, and then yeah, Montreal's at number two right now. So
Point to
yeah,
me
that's
and
a point to
JS.
you and JS. Yeah. So
All right.
um
So the final scores of our standing predictions thus far, because we'll do this again in our next bye week and at the end of the season. Ascent, you have
yeah,
3 points. I have 3 points. JS has 1 point. Three points for the washes too.
the washes. Yeah, yeah, the washes as well. But uh, yeah, it's yeah. I'm mostly proud of if I would say, like, at this point in the season, I'm proud of the Edmonton pick, because like I was so down on them when everybody wants them to, succeed and do good, and I'm like, nope, I don't believe in this team yet. Like, they're not they're not there.
The
And
point is, we really
yeah,
should learn. We really should learn from their mistakes. Although I did try to learn
you
and just predict Winnipeg in first, and that didn't go how I thought it would. So
yeah, you had that, well, you and JS had Edmonton at fourth, so I think I close the last place. I mean, that's still like missing the playoffs territory, but I mean, the way, I mean, you just didn't think like they'd be still this bad compared to like the last few years, right? Like, last few years was brutal, right? And this is like just a continuation of that. But
yeah,
yeah, but yeah,
four straight
that's
years.
and I'd also say in terms of the BC predictions,
Yeah, yeah,
for
that's it.
next, I'll just say for next season, I'm probably, you know what, I'm going to do reverse psychology. I'm going to predict them last. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
I
seems to
mean
work, right?
yikes. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if we're too overly optimistic at this point because the season has been such a mess and it's not gone how anyone would have thought it would have with the talent that we had. So that's just how it goes with the BC Lions. That's how it's been going the last couple seasons.
It's how it's been going for
Uh,
CFL too. Right? It's like, we can make
it's
educated guesses based on, how much we watch this, CFL games enough, but it's like, truly is a game of chance at the end of the day, right?
it is. It's so
Uh,
hard to predict, and there's so much roster turnover every offseason that you almost have to second guess yourself every time. And, you know, when teams stick together, like Hamilton sticking with Bo Levi Mitchell, I'm like, oh, they've not been good the last 2 years. They're just gonna stay bad. And then they break out like they should have. So it is
The
so
Kenny
hard.
Lawler acquisition was like probably a big one for them, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, they were, well, I mean, there were quite a few teams who were just poaching off of Winnipeg's Grey Cup rosters, right? And it's
I was just completely blind to that. I was just like, ah, it's not going to make a difference. And now all of a sudden they have the best receiving core in the league. So,
and Kenny Lawler is probably going to be an MOP candidate because of, well, and yeah, I mean, it's not nothing I've seen him do before. I mean, like, he was playing great with Winnipeg too, so like, Oh man, you might be a Hall of Famer if you win the.
For the second straight
So
week, we need to ban Keandre Smith from BC Place.
absolutely. Well, I mean, mission accomplished because we only play Hamilton once a week or once a year at
Yeah,
home. So yeah, so I mean, yeah, so that's our a short bye-week episode, and fortunately, I didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do in this one, but I'm hoping that the next one we'll be able to do some more stuff. But for now, it's just a recap. We're just coming back to our predictions, and just those. We'll do those in our next bye week too. But it's I don't think it's going to change as much, but we'll see.
we'll see if we have more fun facts for you guys if we're all here.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, the fun fact, like I was really looking forward to JS like bringing out the book and just like reading a bunch of those fun facts, right? But that'll have to wait for another bye week. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us today. You can reach us in our socials. That's down there in the description. We've got Blue Sky, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, and you can also like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. And if you want to write more long form messages to send to us to read, like any compliments sending our way, you can reach us at our Gmail account at section214 at gmail.com. That's SECTION at gmail.com. And yeah, um, yeah, I gotta say, like, even though it's like not what we wanted to do with the bye week, it was still fun to,
Of course.
go through that game that I half watched and you
Mhm.
75% watched, and it ended up being a crazy
Suffer
game.
through
And
it.
then
Yeah, no, I enjoyed going
and
through our season predictions. It's always fun to record.
it's always fun to record. Yeah,
That's
just
why
to
we
get
do it.
through. Yeah, it's it's a weekend, so it's like it's one of those crazy weekend things that we just do to ourselves. That's uh yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us today. So yeah, we'll see you on Thursday or Friday
See you
morning.
next time.
Bye bye.